Evening, everybody. It's 5:25 on Tuesday, the 21st, and this is your closing comment. It's also video number 1072, and I'm going to remind you again to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be on top of this. Just so that you know, we put out a video on the position that we have in symbol CORN, which is the ETF for the corn market. So if you don't want to miss those kind of things, you really need to get it. You really need to hit subscribe and hit notifications so that you get it all. Okay, there's just not that much to say on a day like today. Everything was up. Just like yesterday, there wasn't much to say. Everything was down. But we did close up 560 on the Dow, 1.6%, 360 on the NASDAQ, up 2.4%. 8121 on the S&P, 1.78%. The biggest winner was the Russell, up 6307, or just under 3%, 295. And following right behind it, the Dow Jones Transport's up 378, or 2.42. The VIX was down only slightly, 2101. So we didn't spike on the upside, and we're not collapsing down to the 12 or 15 or 18 level yet. So I'm not sure that we're done here. Volume today was a little on the light side, 4.5 billion. That is 100 million more than yesterday, so not a big day. Volume-wise, advanced declines on the NYSE were 4-1 to the upside, and advanced declines on the NAS was 3-1 up. We had the earnings from Nike and MU that I mentioned this morning. This morning when we talked, Nike was up about, I want to say, about $6, 162 and change, up 587. It managed to get to 166.63, up 965, or 6.2%. So it added nicely. MU, which had traded up from its prior close of 82.03, was trading 88.92, up 6 and change. It managed to close 90.68, up 865, or 10.5%. Citrix, which I mentioned this morning, was around $90, wasn't really up very much, was up about $5 on the $95 takeover from Oracle. It added another $5 to that, closed 94.60, up 10.95, or 13%. And Oracle, which was down $2.50 when we talked this morning, managed to close 91.66, and that was actually up on the day, only a couple of cents, but nonetheless just about $2 higher than it was trading this morning. So the market influenced everything. ALDX, this is a small biotech. The stock was as high as just under 16, 15.95 back in May of this year. Today closed $3.51, down $3.62, or 51%. The company failed to meet an endpoint on a trial that they had. Also want to just mention, tomorrow we have consumer confidence, existing home sales, final look at Q3 GDP, and mortgage apps. Okay. Chart on the screen is the oil. We talked about this yesterday, coming down here and testing support and closing up 2/3 on the range, but still below the 200-day moving average. Today, we had a much higher high and a much higher low, and we did manage to regain that. Not only did we regain that, but we moved back above the little downtrend line that we drew here this morning, and also we crossed above the 200-day MA. The problem here is still going to be the 5-day. Let me make it a little bigger for you. Is the 5-day, which looks like it may just be ready to cross right here. If that happens and we can close the end of the week above the high here at, let's see, 73 even, then we could certainly be back to testing 75 to 78 again. I mean, I'm still very bullish on the oil. I think it does go higher. This was a virus setback, just like this was, and I think that we still work higher. We may need a little bit of work sideways here, like we had coming up into the decline. We may need that before heading higher, but the bottom line is this is a very constructive chart. It held where it had to hold and turned right back up. The gold, on the other hand, is getting to be a problem. I just honestly don't understand this as it relates to inflation. And unlike many of the teleprompter readers, I was around for real inflation. And I'm really surprised to see the gold. I don't think that it's as simple as you now have cryptocurrencies, because cryptocurrencies are, there's nothing behind them. At least with gold, there is something behind it. Now we have this little flag over the last 3 days. We had 3 strong up days, and now we've had 2 more weak days. We haven't broken to the downside. The 5 is still above the 20. The point that I'm trying to make is that while gold was down 0.3%, and when we talked this morning, it was actually up 0.3%, while the silver was substantially higher. Silver actually closed higher on the day. It was up 24 cents, which was over 1%. So down 0.3% on the gold, up 1.07% on the silver. And as you can see, the 5-day here is moving up into the 20-day, and it wouldn't surprise me at all to see this is, if you look at this is kind of the same thing as the gold, 3 days up and then these 2 days down, except that the gold already started, the gold has not started, but the silver has started to move back to the upside. Bitcoin was up about 1,600. The dollar was down 6 cents, and the bonds were down about 1 1/4. I just want to show you, in case you missed the video that I put out, it will be on the front page of the Daily Note tonight. This is the corn chart, and it looks like it's getting ready to go here too. This is a really nice consolidation that we have now closed. This is the highest close that we had. Let me back it out a little here so you can see what it really looks like. I think this is very bullish. I think the MACD is about to cross over. Let's see if I can get a little better look at that. MACD is crossing over, so we may get a cross to the upside. I'm a little hesitant. I mean, we're in it at the right place. We bought the COR and calls in this general area versus about 590. We closed 598.25 today, and we have had a couple of these chances where it looked like we were going to cross to the upside and we didn't. And of course, that gave us a bit of a decline, although it was only a 2-day decline. In any event, I think that this is a great looking chart. We paid 35 and 40 cents for these calls. They closed I believe 40 cents bid offered at 50 cents, so not a big gain, but not a big loss either. And we could easily be back in this 605, 610 area. Last time we were in that area, COR and the ETF was trading around 22 and a half. That would make these worth about $1, so 40 cents to $1. It's still a pretty decent return in a couple of days if that's the way it goes. All right, everybody, be careful out there. It is still just as treacherous as it was yesterday. And, all of my sectors were higher today. I think the only one that wasn't substantially higher, might have been just mixed, was the food service, food chain sector, food supply chain sector, I'm sorry. And that one was mixed. I mean, it wasn't down, but it just wasn't up across the board like the rest of these were. All right, I'll be back first thing in the morning. And as I said, consumer confidence, existing home sales, Q3 GDP, and mortgage apps in the morning. Have a good evening.